Today's peaceful demonstrations escalated to violence and then moved on to destruction and looting in La Mesa. Our David Goffredson joins us live from La Mesa Springs Shopping Center, where people have been grabbing what they can in the middle of this chaos. David.
Yes, I'm at La Mesa Springs Shopping Center. Let me turn the camera around. Okay, Play It Again Sports is one of the stores that was hit. You can see it's still smoldering. They took baseball bats to the windows of these stores and went in and looted them. The police, after more than an hour of looting, finally cleared out the crowd. Here are the police now in front of the Vons. I have some video of the entrance of Vons showing people going in there. Lots of agencies out here. They were able to clear it out, and there's no more looting going on right now. Community College Police, Escondido Police, Sheriff's Department. As far as I know, there was no tear gas shot in this parking lot. But if you're looking at the video right now, there's some officers right now clearing out the parking lot, trying to keep people from coming back in here. But as I say, for about an hour, they were looting the stores here. There's a store here, Sally Beauty Supply. They took baseball bats to the windows of that one, and it was a free-for-all in there, just looting everything in sight. I'm still here, sorry about the delay. Anyway, if you're looking at this video, the stores are protected now, but that was about an hour ago, that video I shot with my cell phone. And again, we have security out here, but we don't really need it in this part of the town because the cops are doing a good job. The deputies are doing a good job of protecting these stores now, but it was just smoke and looting, people running away with surfboards, skateboards, cases of beer. It was just all that and more, as you expect what a free-for-all looting would be. Pizza Hut here, windows smashed out. Play It Again Sports, I think that's where the skateboards and surfboards came from. I saw a guy running away with 3 motorcycle helmets. So it was, and people were just doing donuts in the parking lot here. It was crazy here. So anyway, the fire department just showed up. They're going to put out the smoldering business here, Play It Again Sports. As you can see, the smoke coming out. Back to you.
All right, David Goffredson reporting live. Thanks, David. Terrible destruction there. Now we're going to Chopper 8 over the Grossmont Shopping Center, where, Alicia, you were watching this video earlier.
Right before we came live on air at 5 o'clock, we were seeing dozens of people run out of the Walmart. Some of them carrying television sets is what it looked like. They were running in and out. Things were knocked over outside the doors. Not sure how they got in, but it looks like it's been cleared out at this very moment. It was a very fluid scene, very fast. So I would imagine police officers have it under control.
Yeah, the other shopping center was a little closer to La Mesa Police Department, where the protest was centered, so a shorter walk. This is a little farther away, maybe fewer, more opportunistic people getting there, and more officers on the scene quickly. It doesn't look to be the damage we saw at La Mesa Springs that David was showing us.
Yeah, this is where the protest on the freeway ended up. It was right near this shopping center, so since the protest was so big and broke out into smaller groups, maybe a smaller group stayed behind at the Grossmont Center near this Walmart, and as we're getting a closer shot at the front of the store, you could see there is some sort of commotion going on, as we definitely saw people running out of the store carrying items, some of them television sets.
Yeah, a big police presence there right now for sure. We don't see as many people as we don't see the same scene that was on just a few minutes before we took air with people running out with things. It looks like they've gotten control of that situation now.
All right, before everything erupted tonight, the protests began with demonstrators taking over the highway, some of them clashing with police. But in the beginning, violence was not an issue. News 8's Monique Grego was there.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! It began this afternoon at the La Mesa Police Headquarters, a peaceful protest, the community making their voices heard.
We're going to sit here and stand and protest and march and do whatever we got to do in order for equal rights for all citizens.
Speaking out against recent incidents involving a La Mesa police officer using what some say was excessive force against a black man, to the national story of the death of an unarmed black man in Minneapolis. Demonstrators marched from the headquarters to Interstate 8, eventually shutting down the highway, the westbound lanes of that highway. After protesters broke through an initial response of police officers in a line, more lined up on the highway in SWAT gear and cruisers. Words were exchanged, graffiti was made. Despite tense moments, no violence erupted, and without incident, the crowd moved west, with officers slowly following behind. But back at the origin of the demonstration, things went south, and San Diego became the latest city to see unrest in light of recent issues.
It's really emotional to see what pain everyone's going through. So we have to make some move. So this is the first step.
Monique Riego, News 8.
Thanks, Monique. And more video from La Mesa shows a Heartland fire truck burning earlier tonight. Chopper 8 recorded this video as protesters became increasingly violent after sunset tonight. The truck was set on fire in the middle of the street in front of La Mesa City Hall. There's an angle from the ground we got a little later. We don't have any reports, fortunately, of any injuries associated with that fire. At this hour, the police headquarters in La Mesa is secured, but that's only after a tense, hours-long standoff with protesters outside.
Police and sheriff's deputies used tear gas and non-lethal rounds to keep people from entering the building. News 8's Shannon Handy was there when things escalated.
The situation here outside La Mesa Police Department continues to escalate. Protesters have been out here for hours. Some have vandalized City Hall next door. Some have lit vehicles on fire. One of those vehicles was a fire truck.
What began as a peaceful protest turned violent in La Mesa Saturday after protesters started vandalizing this armored police vehicle. Within minutes, pepper spray was deployed, sending people running.
I was just protesting. I was just literally sitting in front of the precinct, and they start throwing gas cans, like tear gas and everything. They'd shoot me in my foot.
Some had to sit on the ground, saying the sensation was just too much.
It's in your eyes, it's in your brain, it's in your nose, it's in your throat. Like, it feels like it's just spreading throughout the entirety of your lungs, and you're just going to collapse and die.
Despite a helicopter overhead telling people to disperse, much of the crowd stayed. Law enforcement continued to use pepper spray.
My eyes are burning. My throat is burning.
My photographer and I even got hit from a block away. As day turned into night, we captured people vandalizing City Hall, breaking windows and spraying graffiti. At one point, protesters attempted to flip this Heartland fire vehicle over. Unsuccessful, they wound up lighting it on fire. At times, the scene could only be described as chaotic, though we witnessed several protesters trying their best to keep the peace.
And there were reports of protesters hit by pepper balls that resulted in injuries. Meanwhile, some of the stores in the La Mesa area closed early because of this protest. Police, of course, will be out all night on high alert. Back to you.
While the protests were largely peaceful during the early afternoon hours, there were some instances reported of clashes with protesters and others on the ground.
Running over protesters, or the protesters are running in front of them.
This video was from earlier. You can see several people making contact with an SUV. It looks like they are dragged a few feet as the vehicle refuses to yield. No word on whether anyone was hurt.
All right, we're going to go back out live now to the La Mesa Springs Shopping Center. Our David Goffredson is out there. He's looking at a postal annex, I believe, where the owners are on scene now dealing with just wreckage. David?
That's right. The postal annex here in the shopping mall. The looters are gone, and the owner is here cleaning up. Here's the owner right here. Steve, was it?
Clay.
Steve Clay, right?
Yes.
Tell me your reaction to this.
Well, my reaction is I'm extremely upset. Not happy at all. I mean, we're in this community of beautiful La Mesa. We work hard. This is our business. This is what we've built. And they have come in and destroyed everything. It's not fair.
Take me inside and show me what they did here.
Well, come on in.
Steve's a nice guy, considering this just happened about an hour or two ago. He's going to show us a little bit of the damage they came in and did. What'd they take, Steve?
Well, it's too early to tell, but it just looks like they just thrashed everything.
Oh,
So,
man.
I mean,
Did you have any money that they got or what?
Not at all. All right.
Well, Steve is bringing his shop back in here. There's glass all over the place. And he's got a lot of people helping him out. Look at all the people coming to help clean up.
That's because they're La Masons.
That's because they're La Masons, they say.
That's my wife, Janelle.
Yeah, how long have you owned this place?
17 years.
17 years. Have you ever seen anything like this?
No.
Never, ever.
Someone brought their own hammer.
Right.
What was the first thing that you thought about when you saw this? Thugs?
Yes.
Thugs.
This
It's
is
not
La
right.
Mesa people.
It's not right. We take care of people. We do everything for the public. We help everybody. And in return, this is not right.
All right. Thanks, Steve, for letting us into your shop, or what's left of it anyway. I'm sure you will get it cleaned up, and you'll be back in business before long.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
We got a lot of help.
Back to you.